Hello, hello. It's me, Dark Meta. How about some...
Hello.
Shh.
Who has
Commentary... hold on. What the... I haven't played in so long. Oh shit, it looks like I'm in real life. Oh god, it looks so weird. Who's making noises? Okay. Commentary. This is pretty cool. I agree. I disagree.
U.S. college? Oh, what?
True, Brian.
U.S. college enrollment by gender.
Hey, this is pretty good.
You do see the flip in 1980. This is
Cool.
on a yearly basis next.
What are you
Men and
talking
women
about?
study different things. This is kind of important.
This is fucking kind of boring. So just like ruin the whole... I could have all like 12 hours of no copyright now at just that 2 seconds. Fucking ruined it. Yeah. No, don't. I just want to see Andrew Wilson shred some fucking strumpets.
Female, with the exception of the University of
Idiots.
California, Santa Cruz. There's also UCSD also slightly more, but you have pretty big discrepancy there. Education, I mean, women are doing fine. Sure, let's talk about what right does a man
Well, can I just very quickly also tell you that women have always conventionally done better academically than men. Since we've been keeping tabs on it since the late 1700s, that has been the case, that they've always academically done better. But let me explain to you why that is. It's because right now, about 90% of women who are in women's studies get A's, right? But if you move them into like a mathematic pursuit or something like this, it drops down to about 45% who get A's. So essentially, when you're talking about soft sciences, psychology, sociology, the humanities, things like this, these are all arts degrees, and so it's far easier to get graded well inside of those types of degrees. Whereas if you're in a pursuit which requires some type of actual scientific rigorism, it's much more difficult, and so that's why you see a lot of that discrepancy.
So, going back to the rights, I guess my question is, what is a right that a man has that a woman doesn't in the United States today?
Yeah. What?
You know, I haven't looked too deep into laws like that. I can't state one, but I do believe they don't have one against their body saying you can't do certain things.
That's not a right. That's not a right.
You're a female advocate. Okay.
Not
but you haven't done the research on the type of advocacy.
I have stayed up with like the laws and things like that.
Yeah, and like, you have also like, 5 minutes ago fucking claim that men have more rights than women, but when asked what rights, well,
stating
that
equalize one. We're talking about, we brought it back to abortion laws, correct?
Oh, okay.
so obfuscating,
That's the only one.
That
changing.
was the one.
When it comes to a right.
Again, that's not a right. There's no such thing as an right. Right. That's not a right. There's no rights for that.
Men have bodily autonomy, women don't. Is that your position?
There's no such thing. No such thing.
No.
It doesn't exist.
I, heard.
Right.
Okay, so
about men and what they're not allowed to do with their body.
I'm trying to understand.
I'm focusing on when I brought up abortion laws. I'm saying how what was the word we used earlier?
Advocacy.
No, that's not the word I'm thinking of.
Bodily autonomy.
No, you guys are just throwing words at me and confusing me.
It's not very hard to do.
You're not allowed to do something, right?
Right.
I can't think of the word.
Right, a prohibition.
No, you guys are just throwing words at me now. It's making it worse.
Here, we'll
But-
fight for 10 seconds.
No, we're good with the
You-
10 seconds.
We'll
I'm
give you
fine.
10 seconds without any
But like
interruption.
stating that, like, you know, what is a man to say what a woman's allowed to do with her body?
It's not her body, first of all.
What are you talking about?
No, that's
It's
what
not even-
I was talking about.
But you
Like,
can.
Okay, so I'm happy to have that conversation, but is there, aside from that, is there any right that the man has the woman doesn't?
not that I can think of the top of my head.
Okay, you can't think of it, but do you think that there is? Or is that the only thing? And then,
That a man has a right to do that a woman doesn't.
no, well, is there a right that a man has that a woman doesn't? Aside from that,
Here in the U.S.
yes.
No.
Okay, so
I can't think of.
when it comes to reproductive rights, that has to do with bodily autonomy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, doing a comparison when it comes to bodily autonomy, although these are like somewhat different, men also, although this is completely different, you're talking about abortion, right? From the government down, when it comes to bodily autonomy, there's forced military conscription, which women are exempt from. So there's actually a more compelling argument that
Yeah.
men are oppressed under the purview of the state or the government when it comes to bodily autonomy. And also, because there's no law preventing, for example, circumcision, there's a much greater argument when it comes to male bodily autonomy, because children don't have the capacity to deny when their single mom is giving birth to them in the hospital and the
Yeah.
single mom wants to have their child circumcised.
Good point,
The
Friction.
child can't protect, so there ought to be some sort of law that prevents children from getting.
So do you think there
Circumcised.
should be against
Boy.
men as there is women?
What do you mean?
Like that there should be laws regarding just with women's bodies as well as men's bodies, what they're allowed to do.
Well, I'm saying that,
Yes.
there's when it comes to bodily autonomy, the state
Yes.
actually has there's arguably more oppression towards men when it comes to bodily autonomy, because nobody's forcing you to have sex and get pregnant.
I mean, well, if they were like very,
Yeah, sure. So how about this? Let's have So
very
hold on.
often.
Okay, cool. So if I'm prepared to say that abortion is totally cool in the event of incest, rape, grape, or the life of the mother, you guys are totally 100% against all other abortions.
One more time.
Reckless behavior.
Okay, so
God, they're so dumb.
absolutely, some women get raped, or there's incest, or whatever, or perhaps the life of the mother is at risk. And if I'm going to go ahead and say yes, abortion in those instances is totally okay, are you guys prepared to agree that it's wrong in all the other instances?
No.
Okay, so, and you do realize that, like, when it does come to abortion, most of these women are using, are getting abortions for basically, like, as birth control. Like, they're having consensual sex.
That's some.
No, it's the 99% of abortions.
How do you know?
How do you know most women are getting?
Okay, first of all, there's statistics that prove that. And then I believe there's.
So let's be clear now. So you're telling me that most women who get abortions?
Oh no! I'm not saying most women that get abortions. I'm not
We
saying
talking abortions.
I'm just saying there's a lot of.
I'm saying, but most women that get abortions, they're not getting them because they were raped. They're getting them because they don't want to be tied to that man.
But that's not necessarily true. There's other reasons why, like the body, right? The health and the life of the
Yeah,
woman.
we established that.
So the graph we put up for school, there's a graph for percentages on how many women did get raped, how many women did get,
Yeah, so
let's say health and wellness of the
Here's the stats. It's 0.5%. 0.5%.
What's the stat for that?
I just told you 0.5% who are victims of rape.
Graping.
And that's reported. That's
Don't
reported because there's that's not
grape
reported.
me.
Listen. Hang on.
I
When you
was
do
great.
a study for
I was
self-reporting, you
great.
add in the control.
They
that there's
gave
gonna be
you
un-
grape?
unreported
What the
amounts of
fuck?
X. So they're adjusting for how.
What the hell? How did this happen? When did this happen? What the fuck is happening? What? Oh, no. What? Dude, how long was it just... I was doing something. How did that happen? Why was... Oh. What the... Jesus Christ. It's fucking nuts. How did that happen? Why didn't you guys tell me? Someone? No? What is it? Oh, it's ammo. How did I drown? in here. Oh, it was. I didn't know. I thought there was no error. I mean, I thought there was error. I thought there was no danger. Wow. What the hell? Okay, I can't see. Dude. That's ridiculous.
Many people are not
Mental
health
fucking levels. Hell.
punished greatly, thrown in prison forever, or given the electric chair. I'm fine with all of those options. But most women who are SA do actually end up having the baby. Most of them do.
Let's get some
So
grapes,
getting it on by their own
SA.
choice. Interestingly enough, the amount of women who seek out abortive services for SA is extraordinarily small. Like I said, 0.5%.
Orale, vato.
And look, going back to the thing, talking about rights, I'm not really super interested in going like heavy into like some sort of
grapes,
abortion
bro.
discussion.
I don't want you to grape me, bro.
We were talking about rights, and so while I already went ahead and granted, like in those situations, sure, okay, go ahead, get an abortion.
Graping my
But, like,
sister,
most of these
bro.
women are
It's
not
not
getting
cool.
abortions for those reasons. So
You don't like
it's
grapes?
not clear to me, like
Essay.
it's just irresponsibility or whatever.
7
it is.
essays.
Well, don't you? So you're saying? Oh,
This
So
is
the
not an
government, here's the
essay.
thing: the government isn't forcing you to have sex. And to get pregnant.
Schmacks.
Whereas when
Oh,
it comes to male
not on
bodily
TikTok.
autonomy issues,
I love listening to that
while the
TikTok
government
shit
doesn't force
on Andrew's channel. I've never been on the TikTok ever. I've never seen it, but I've seen the videos pop up and it shows the logo and I click off there. Andrew went on there. It's pretty funny because they have all these fucking code words they have to say, schmecks, and like I don't even know. Like if you're schmecks with a guy, it sounds like that fucking quirky, nerdy, like North Side girl who like says that kind of shit. You want to have schmecks? It's like, but you know, it's part of her personality. She just like says that shit, joking around, and it's always funny. Having schmecks with this guy, schmecksing it.
Trust me, I'm 100% sure.
Essay.
stating that like so women
Really?
can't get
Where's your
adopted.
results card?
Ooh, okay, hang on. This is a fair. Hang on. This is totally fair.
I see.
This is a totally fair thing to say. I just wanted to I just want to ask a single question. Raise your hand if you have a driver's license. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. When you went down and you got your driver's license at the DMV, did they ask you if you wanted to register to vote? Did they sign you up for the selective services?
Nope.
The way that I know that they didn't sign you up for the selective services is because men cannot sign up to vote unless they sign up for the selective services. Simple.
Interesting. Learn something new every day. That's interesting.
You just learned
Oh, no.
that
Good one here. I can show you this. So,
your whole ideology is
this
stupid
is a
You can handle this.
and wrong.
yeah. You can get this at
It
the
doesn't
post
make
office.
sense.
It's a selective service at the top. You see how it says men 18 to 25. Here, I'll put it to the. Maybe we can do it like this. Hold on. Go here. Boom. Men 18 to 25. And then if you open up, there is here. That's the registration there. And I'll read the card. It says, who has to, I think it says who has to
So can I
register. Just one sec. Where does it? What happens if I don't register? Not registering is a felony. Young men convicted of failure to register may be fined up to $250,000, imprisoned for up to 5 years, or both. In addition to being subject to prosecution, failure to register may cause you to permanently forfeit eligibility for certain benefits. You had a question?
So, as we're speaking on like women's rights and what we fight for, right? If you don't agree with that, why don't you guys fight for the opposite?
Well, because we have a problem. Right. So here's our problem. The problem is, in our quest for egalitarianism, we forgot that there's only some roles that one sex can do and that the other can't. For instance, women can have children and men can't. That's just a brute fact that nobody can do anything about. And only men can fight in front lines, and women really can't do that.
Nope.
We don't have any GI Janes. We don't have any female Navy SEALs. We don't have any because even though it's been open to them for many years, they can't actually cut the mustard to do it. They're not equipped physically to take on those roles.
Fact.
But we do need to have a military. We need to have frontline combat soldiers if we need them in case our country gets invaded. And we may have to take those out of the pool of people who are particularly unwilling, but know that it is part of their duty. And so because of that, we don't really have an option to tell men ultimately that they can't be drafted because we won't have a nation. It would weaken our nation so significantly that we may not even have one. So the thing is that this is a higher duty that men have. So where's the higher duty that women have? Where is it?
Giving birth, like you stated.
Giving birth. So then that would say that there's some duty there. If there's a duty there for me, if I get drafted to go fight, how come there's no duty for you if you get pregnant to have the child? If it's only a thing you can do. It's only a thing you can do and I can't. Yet here's this thing only I can do and you can't. Yet I would be required to go. Where's your requirement?
Don't men get like rewarded for going to war and stuff like that?
No, they get killed. They get blown to pieces. Hang on. Here's a reward. They get shot. They get shot. It's a reward. They get shot. They get blown to bits. They get tortured in prisoner of war camps. Horrible things happen to them. They have massive psychological damage for life. That's what happens. That's what happens. And by the way, here's what the nation often does. If they need you bad enough for war, they'll conscript you with no pay. If they can't afford to pay you, sometimes you'll go 8 months without a paycheck and your family suffers for it. Yes, men definitely get the raw end of the stick.
And a lot of people send all their money back home. A lot of those guys send all of it back home to their families because they need it.
Where's your higher duty? What is it?
Can I add something to that? Because he's right. But you notice how when we provide you actual data of what happens, you go and find the minority of what contradicts what we say. But when it comes to women, you find the minority and make that the majority of what we're saying. It's like whatever we say, you go to the other side. It's like we just gave you a chart from the data because you said bring up the data. We brought it. Less than 1% of the population of women did these things based on being assaulted. Most men, a lot of men die in the army, but you want to avoid all those men that die just to focus on the ones that don't, just to win an argument. That's why I feel like a lot of times in this position, women have been sold a false image, and they call it feminism, but it's really them dumbing down their natural ability and power of being feminine to really compare yourself to men. So it's like, it's not really a feminist thing. They devalue what's powerful to you, which is the ability to have children, the ability to be a supporter. That's powerful. But women have been tricked to thinking that the only way to express power and force is by being a man.
I think we just found other ways to enforce our power and also like.
What I brought up school, you brought up masculine things. What's something feminine? I mean,
Knowledge is very.
To focus on yourself, knowledge is only power when you use it to help the men. What do women do that besides giving birth? Because besides,
what?
There's a lot of because I feel like this.
Knowledge is only power when you use it to help the many. That doesn't make any sense at all. Knowledge is only power when you use it to help the many. What are you talking about, dude? Are you crazy?
Right? There's working class men, there's working class women, there's people.
You don't have to help the world in order to have power because you have knowledge. Doesn't make any sense at all.
The infrastructure of society is dependent on 94 to 99% of them were done by.
No, I'm nitpicking his like meta sentences. I don't care.
And so men have have a value to the world outside of being with the woman. So outside of giving birth, and for the most cases, what do most women do that benefit the many?
Most women don't do anything.
They benefit others.
Most women don't do anything. Yeah, I hate when people. This is always everyone's. Well, most men do. How do you know that? How can you demonstrate that? Most. Who? No, it's impossible. There's no possible way to do that. In your opinion of your fucking view of the world, of what you think is probably the way, like based on your tiny little fucking slice of perception, your little fucking window to the entire existence of the world and the universe. Well, you know, most men wear Nikes. What? Who? The fuck are you talking about? Well, most men do wear shoes. Most? I mean, what number? And it becomes one of those things. You can never get the specific metric, the number, the answer, the measuring, you know, mechanism in order to plug a value, because there's no such thing. It's just a literal fucking generalization. But if you say the majority, I don't even care. That's different. You say the majority of something is, or whatever, something. And that can be shown by this.